when we were walking back to the car, there was already someone standing near the path, and I remember I didn't think much of it at first because we'd just seen one person earlier, but as we got closer, he just stayed there and watched us come through. And that's when it started to feel wrong, like he wasn't surprised to see us at all. And that's when it hit me that if we had stayed there even a little longer, we weren't getting back to the car like this. And the only reason I even went on that trip was because Jake had been asking me for a while. And I hadn't really been going out much because things at home were kind of tight. So when he said it was just a simple overnight near a lake, about an hour outside town, nothing serious, I said yeah and went with them. And it was me, Jake, and his older brother Chris, and we got there late afternoon and parked off a dirt path, and from there we carried our stuff in maybe a couple 100 yards toward the water, and there were no other cars there when we got there, which felt normal at the time, just quiet in a good way. And we set up near a small clearing. Chris was messing with the fire, and Jake kept getting in the way, and I was just sitting there watching them go back and forth, and it all felt normal, just a regular night out. And it got dark pretty fast, like full dark with no moon, just the fire lighting up a small circle around us. And after a while, Jake said he was going back to the car to grab something and asked if we wanted anything, and Chris said no. So Jake went alone with his phone light, and it should have taken him like 2 minutes to go and come back, but it didn't. And after a bit, Chris looked at me and said, "What's he doing?" And right then, we heard Jake call out from the direction of the path, not yelling like panic, more like checking if we heard him. And Chris stood up and called back, "What?" And Jake didn't answer right away. And then he came back into the firelight kind of fast, like walking quick, but trying to keep it normal. And Chris asked what happened, and Jake said he thought someone was standing near the car when he got there, like just off to the side. And when he pointed his light, it was gone. And Chris told him he probably saw a tree or something, but Jake shook his head and said no, it moved. And the way he said that made it stick, because Jake doesn't usually jump at stuff like that. And we tried to sit back down and keep talking, but it didn't really go back to normal after that. And I kept looking toward the path without meaning to, just expecting something to come through. And maybe 10 minutes later, we heard a step from that direction, like one clear step on leaves. And all three of us stopped talking at the same time, and Chris grabbed the flashlight and pointed it toward the path. And for a second, there was nothing, just the trees and the opening we came through. And then the light caught something low, like movement near the ground, and it stopped as soon as the light hit it. And Chris said, "Who's there?" Just normal, not aggressive, and nothing answered. And Jake said that's where he saw it before. And Chris took a couple steps forward, not far, just enough to see better. And I stayed near the fire, watching him. And then from behind me, from the opposite side of the clearing, I heard something move, closer than before, like right outside the light. And I turned, and there was nothing there, but it felt close, like one more step, and someone would be right there. And I said, "There's something behind us." And Chris turned fast and swung the light back, and for a second, it caught someone standing there, not far at all, just outside the light. And then they stepped back behind a tree, and Chris didn't wait after that. He just said, "We're leaving right now. Pack it up." And Jake didn't argue. He just started grabbing stuff, and I was stuffing things into my bag. When I heard movement again from the path side, more than one step this time, and when I looked up, I could see a shape standing in the opening, not coming closer, just there watching. And Chris said, "Don't look at them, just move." And that's when it clicked for me that there wasn't just one person out there, and we started moving toward the path together, staying close. And when we got near the opening, the one standing there moved to the side, like letting us pass through, and that didn't feel right at all. And as we walked past, I kept my head forward, but I could see someone else further back between the trees, just standing there. And when we got to the car, Jake unlocked it fast, and we all got in at the same time, and Chris started it right away. And when the headlights came on, they lit up the path in front of us, and there were at least 3 people out there, spaced out between the trees, not hiding anymore, just standing and watching us. And none of them moved when the lights hit them. And as we pulled out, one of them took a step toward the road, like they were thinking about coming closer, and then just stopped. And we didn't really talk on the drive back. And the next day, Jake looked that place up and found a couple posts from people saying they felt watched out there at night, but nobody really explained it. And we never went back after that. And honestly, the part that stuck with me wasn't just that there were people out there, it was how they moved around us without us noticing at first, like they were already in position before we realized what was going on.